Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Monday morning. Week 16 of the NFL season coming to a close tonight. Football, I think it's going away way too soon.
2 games left.
2 games left.
It's unbelievable.
Joined by Jeff IaFrate this morning. Ooh. Sam Fisher, Alex Westfall in the TD booth. We got an interesting show today. You know that? Corey Wood's going to be hopping by in 10, 15 minutes. Can't wait for that. We got Jake Butt later this week, previewing Michigan.
Can't
but you
wait.
know what? Let's just start with, I think, what everyone witnessed on Sunday, which was the Detroit Lions losing to the Atlanta Falcons in a game where I actually thought they had one of their better games of the year.
Yeah, agreed.
And where I want to start with is, what's the sign of a good team, right? When you're just looking towards the future, what can you hang on to say, like, all right, that translates when this roster gets better, right? Mm-hmm. That translates a year down the line, 2 years down the line, when you have, let's say, better positional play at the edge, at quarterback, even better coaching. And that could totally be Dan Campbell, and who knows, maybe I expect it to be that way. The point is, what happened on Sunday, you can actually take with you moving forward. This is the second straight week I've noticed something. With Arizona, it was they dominated the game for 60 minutes.
Right.
And against Atlanta, it was lethargic, like you'd expect. They have a backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. But the 4 times Atlanta scored, field goal, touchdown, field goal, the Lions were able to answer on 3 of the 4 scores. On the following drive, that's impressive. To me, that's impressive. To me, that's the sign of resiliency, ability to overcome adversity. And that's what you need in a football team in the future. You want to speak about an example of a team that, let's say, has 11 wins this year and won a game on Sunday they probably shouldn't have won. We'll get to it a little later. The Los Angeles Rams overcoming adversity. Their quarterback throwing 3 interceptions, putting them in a pickle, and they still came out with that win. Sony Michel, hell of a game. I think it's interesting that they have progressed the way they have since the bye week. And that's actually really promising.
Yeah.
And look, it's a win-loss game at the end of the year. It always is. You're judged not by how your team is performing, not by, you have a top 10, secondary. Doesn't matter. Wins and losses at the end of the day will be what head coaches, unfortunately, fair or not fair, whether you like it or not, that's what they're ultimately judged by. And that's what teams are judged on, wins and losses. But the Lions all but secured, no, they actually did secure a top 5 pick after their loss on Sunday.
For sure,
so
number
that
2.
was good.
I'm thinking for sure number 2.
And they need to lose one more game to secure a top 2 pick.
Yep.
So they lose one of the next 2, they are in the clear. Top 2 pick confirmed. Having said that, here we go. Play calling getting a little better.
Yep.
We'll get to the fourth quarter decision to kick a field goal on 4th and 5 a little later. But with a backup, they did what you expected them to do. Hold up defensively, not give up any big plays, control the clock, milk it, run the ball effectively, and keep it a close game. And that's exactly what they did. And they lost. Cool. So now the draft capital people are happy, and now the Lions fan base that wanted them to play a close game, or maybe even when they're happy as, well, Monday morning. It's not bad. It's a good Monday. It's a really good Monday. And, again, what do you see in this team in the future? And with Dan Campbell, for example, I've seen a coach develop and learn week to week, although I may not like the overall result of it, but gotten better. Situational awareness, we can get to that a little later. Team's playing harder. The team is playing above expectation, which is what you're seeing coaches do as well. They're coaching above expectation. And anytime you see young players playing above expectation, it is a tribute to coaching. Good coaching. So there is something there. There is something. Am I a fortune teller? Can I tell you that this is an absolute division winner? Conference champion, Super Bowl winning team, Super Bowl winning staff? I don't... Look, way too early to go out and say that, okay? I can predict the future, just not that far ahead. Having said that, I think Sunday was another example of why you buy into this team maybe more than most teams and most fan bases do to a 2-win football team. So they're showing you that they have the ability to play close games. And if I told you they had Jared Goff on Sunday, you would tell me, Adam, they would have won that game. And I would agree with you 100%. That was the reality of Sunday. Another game where this team plays above expectations. They go in on the road against one of the worst home teams in the NFL, and they made it close. And as a team that's vying for a top 2 draft pick, they lost. Great. Cool. You can move on. But they're showing you something, guys. Yeah. And what it is it a division champion? Is it a playoff winning team? Too early to say. You really need to know. I would be more comfortable listening to people talking about what they could be after the offseason. Right now, way too early. But there is something there that you may build. And I'll point to the offensive line. You had Barry Sanders all those years in the 90s. Imagine Barry had an offensive line like the Dallas Cowboys. Or hell, that he had the offensive line that the Lions do right now. You have a guy on your team running the ball, Netflix Reynolds. That is a compliment to your O-line. It means you can plug in anybody and you can run the rock, control the clock. It's a good thing. It really is. Really, my biggest takeaway from Sunday is, again, back-to-back Sundays now. This is 2 straight Sundays. I can look at this team and say, all right, you're showing me something, and the coaching decisions have gotten better, play calling slightly better, but do you want me to hold this team to the fire with a backup quarterback? Is that what you guys want me to do? I won't do that. Are they a 2-win football team? Absolutely. Are they a 2-win roster? Meh. They're probably like a 4 or 5-win roster, but regardless, I don't see the point in even discussing that. Right? What's this team's future look like? That's what people are caught up in. That is the only thing you can look forward to right now, is what does their future look like? And if that involves a scenario where Dan Campbell continues to grow, and maybe he does become the offensive play caller going into next year, who knows? It's an off-season I'm excited to talk about. But there was a game on Sunday, and they did lose. Mm-hmm. And there were moments I liked and moments I didn't like. But Jeff, kind of walk me through what you took away.
Well, watching that game last night made me take away that the Lions are obviously playing good football to close out the season, and that doesn't matter too much to me. Obviously, Jim Schwartz, we know in 2010, the Lions won the last 4 games of the season, finished 6-10. The following season, they went 10-6, and then the following season, they had a bad year. So it's not about winning the last 4 straight to me. It's about building on it, and now you're in a situation where you're still, in my eyes, you're locked up for the number 2 pick. I think Houston has the number 3rd overall pick odds, and they have 4 wins, I believe. So if the Lions lose one of the next 2, they're locked up for number 2, and you got Seattle and the Packers. And I will be going to the Packers game. I bet they'll probably drop both of those games. So in terms of the draft, it is a win. Yes, they lost, but I think with Tim Boyle, you're already counted out against. I mean, we knew this going into the game, and they went into. I want to state this too. The Lions are playing good football, and it's not just defensively. I think we talked about this all year. It's been a repetitive thing. Defensively, they're playing great. They're getting shut out in halves on offense. They're inconsistent. And now with the addition of Josh Reynolds, the emergence of Amon-Ra St. Brown, you walked into Mercedes-Benz Stadium without DeAndre Swift, TJ Hawkinson. On the defensive side, Amani O, Iffy, took turns on Gage, took turns on Pitts. Pitts was a problem, but no one could guard Pitts yesterday. I mean, the secondary, you don't have enough guys out there. The team's improved on 3rd downs. You've seen it watching the game. They were able to extend drives. I think the time of possession was almost double what the Atlanta Falcons had. So just in that area, you haven't seen that all year, control the ball for that long. And credit to Josh Reynolds and Amon-Ra St. Brown for really taking some load on the receiving side of things, because obviously you had Craig Reynolds, you had Jamal Williams doing work. But let me read off Amon-Ra St. Brown's progression, because this is important. I went through the stats last night. I thought this stood out to me. First 11 weeks of the season, 11, 12 weeks, this man had 0 touchdowns, 352 yards. The last 4 games, he has 340 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has almost the whole 11-game sample size in the last 3 to 4 games. So give him credit. I mean, he set a career high in targets during that stretch as well. So
that's the key, I think. You've gotten him double-digit targets for 4 straight weeks now.
He's reliable. They're starting to realize that. I think that's what's important. He's not going to be your number 1, but if he's a good number 3.
What was the blow-up early in the season, Jeff? What was the blow-up when Cephas went down?
Oh, yeah.
Rumors of going for a wide receiver before the trade deadline. It was, no, don't do it.
You got guys.
Get this kid as many looks as possible and see what you have. And here you go, 4 straight weeks, 9 receptions, 10 receptions, 8 receptions, 8 receptions, and then 9, 86 yards, 73 yards, 90 yards, 91 yards, 3 touchdowns in 4 games.
Yeah.
Not bad.
That's
not
what you want to
see.
see.
4th round rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad at all. That is what you want. In a year where you're not going to win football games, in a year where you're not competing for the division, you want to see talented young players make an impact on the field. And if they can do that, you go into next season knowing a hell of a lot more about your football team than you did going into the previous year. We do got to go to break. When we get back, Corey Woods joining in the Morning Woodward show to talk about the game last night. Excited. Can't wait to hear what he thought about the late game decision from Dan Campbell to kick a field goal.
Okay,
he looks cold. It is cold outside. Guys, you know what? If you're driving and listening,
be safe.
Do be safe. The weather's not nice. I don't know why we couldn't get this weather on Christmas when everybody was lazy, drunk, and not going anywhere. But here we are, driving to work on a Monday morning, and the weather is absolutely awful. Jeff, tell everybody about our friends at Northwestern Tech.
Well, Northwestern Tech, great opportunity, provides a new career to anybody that is looking to start in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. You can learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning, Joy.
It's Woodward Sports.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show, December 27th. The new year almost upon us, 4 days away. 2022 coming soon. And 2022, I mean, no more football, unfortunately, for the Detroit Lions. They'll be playing their last game early January against the Green Bay Packers at home. But Corey Woods joins us, the Detroit Lions beat reporter for the Woodward Sports Network. I love the round of applause this morning. I'm not sure what he did to deserve it, but you know what? I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Show Corey
It's
respect.
early. It's early.
Definitely
Corey,
early.
another loss for the Detroit Lions. I'm not really too hung up about it. I could care less. But again, above expectations. They keep playing above expectations. And when you have young players performing at a level higher than expected, I think you have to, whether you like him or not, attribute it to coaching. And I've seen coaching now almost 4 straight weeks, I could argue. They've gotten better game planning wise, play calling, decision making. Players have played up to a new level. Corey, something happening?
Yeah, we're seeing watchable football. That's basically it. We're seeing watchable football. Yesterday, you saw a bad football team play a good football game. They just didn't do enough to win.
Right.
I mean, you can't go 0 for 4 in the red zone on touchdowns. You can't win a game off of kicking field goals. But I mean, it was Tim Boyle. The expectations were low, and they still played a good enough game to win that football game. Now, I do question kicking the field goal at that time, but at the same time, when Dan Campbell has done that, whether it's coincidental or just high belief, when he's kicked field goals or when he's trusted his defense in that situation,
It's worked out.
it's worked out. So
Trusting the defense has always worked out. I know Baltimore, it was a collapse, et cetera, et cetera. We can go back through the whole year. But if you told me, you didn't give me a final score, you told me to win the game or any game this year, what would you prefer? The ball in Jared Goff or Tim Boyle's hands, or in the defenses? And I would argue that I trust the defense more than the offense this year.
absolutely, because the offense over the past 3 or 4 weeks has gotten better. With the influence of Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell taking over play calling, the offense has gotten better. But all throughout the season, the defense has played above expectations. They've played out their mind. They've played with guys going down on COVID, injuries. Aaron Glenn, Mark DeLeon, Aubrey Pleasant, they've just done a phenomenal job with the team, and I'm just curious to see what would have happened if they had their starters most of the year.
They win this game.
Who knows what the ceiling would have been?
They do win this game. If they were healthy all year, they probably have another 2 wins, so they're a 4-win team. I still think they lose a lot of those games, even fully healthy, especially early on. The coaching staff was not growing at the level we see them growing now.
Before they went down with all the injuries, remember, if anybody can go back and go look at the tape when we were doing our season predictions, I said this was a 5-12 team. I said it before all this. This is like a 4-12-1 team potentially with all of these injuries. So it's, if you want to do like the participation trophy or the silver lining. There we go.
Yep.
The silver lining. You're seeing great good to great coaching with players they probably that are not going to return next year.
Absolutely.
Right. They're trying them out.
You brought up earlier the decision, right? And I would love to get into this now because I think people don't really understand what happened on Sunday. 20-13 down, 3rd and 2, and they lose 3 yards. Had they gotten back to the line of scrimmage, even gained an inch, I could make the argument that they line up and go for it. But 4th and 5, you're down 7. You trust your defense. Let's say Atlanta does get a few first downs, but you have the timeout, so you still salvage. Well, if they get in field goal range, it's a 2-possession game if you don't kick that field goal.
Yeah.
So you kicking that field goal gives you kind of a safety net. Hey, if they hit a big play on us and they get in field goal range, we just got to stop them, let them kill the clock a little bit. It's fine. Hey, we still get a chance to go down the field and tie the game. So that's safety number 1. Safety number 2 for Dan was if you didn't go for it, which they didn't, you have a reliable kicker now, so you don't even have to worry. It was
right.
You assumed it was an automatic 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I want to see from Dan Campbell is, are you making winning decisions? And what I mean by that is not, the decision worked. No. Did it put you in a position to win? And last I checked, the defense did its job. And the Detroit Lions had the football. Yes, interception. We all know what happened. But did you have a chance to win the game, Corey? Yes, you did. How can I sit up here Monday and say, Dan made the wrong call? No. This isn't
you can't
costing
do it.
your team a game. Now, identity-wise, he has been the most aggressive head coach in all of football. They're going to break the record.
Yep.
I believe they're 4 fourth downs away.
Right now, they're
totally going to do it.
downs.
In 2 games, they'll get it.
Having said that, technically his identity is hyper-aggressive. But I love a guy that can look himself in the mirror and check himself in the moment and say, you know what? I've been going for it all year. Does not mean I have to go for it right now.
Yep.
I'm taking 3. And we saw Brandon Staley do this against Houston early on. He caught his team was not in rhythm. I'm walking away with points here. They were up early. And then, of course, the Texans just absolutely took it to town after. But still, you got to be able to take it and adjust and not die a stubborn man.
What you're seeing right now with Dan Campbell is he's learning from his mistakes quickly. All throughout the season, he was just saying, remember a lot of these losses, he was saying it's on me, I got to coach better, I got to coach better. You hear that, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. But then you actually see him go out and start to coach better, to start to learn from those mistakes that he got maligned on the Mondays and the Tuesdays, and he goes out the next game and he doesn't make those same mistakes. You're seeing the improvement in the coaching, and that's really what you want at this point of the season. Not necessarily the Lions to go on a win, on some type of win streak. You want to see sound coaching decisions, improvement, and you're getting that. And it's on this Monday, have you guys seen Pay the Full? Everybody eats, B. Everybody eats. The Lions fans who wanted them to go ahead and tank.
And get the draft
they now got a top 5 pick.
Yep.
The Lions fans who want to see the team improve and just get better as the season goes on, you got that. Everybody's winning.
Yep, I know. I mean, that's exactly what happened on Sunday. It was actually really good. I have no issue with it. One more thing I do want to bring up, Cordy, before we hit the break. Deuce Staley. From my understanding, he's actually in pole position, potentially, to take over the offensive coordinating position. It's not Ben Johnson. And my question to you is, one, does Dan Campbell relinquish play calling next year, or is it way too early for me to be asking this? And two, is Deuce Staley the guy from your perspective?
You know what?
Because I do want them to hire internally for the OC position. I think there's something in that building.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, like saying, like, hey, let's, with the moving on from A-Lin, just see what we have with Deuce Staley, see what they have with Ben Johnson kind of emerged out the scene, so he wasn't a guy that people were just saying, hey, let's get Ben Johnson a shot. But I think with Deuce Staley, he has the respect of all of the players there.
That's big.
Guys like Deuce Staley, guys like Aaron Glenn, guys like Aubrey Pleasant. The players bring them up during the media sessions without sometimes being asked about them. When you have a guy like Deuce Staley, who's a leader of men, when you see him in practices and you see how he commands the players' attention, you want that. So if they do move on from Anthony Lynn, which pretty much a lot of people are expecting, I think Deuce Staley should go ahead and get the nod. And also at the same time, you still want to keep Ben Johnson around in some type of fashion.
You promote him to an offensive coordinating assistant, title.
You want to elevate him in some type of fashion, because right now you're seeing something that's working. With Anthony Lynn, the first 8 games of the season, it wasn't working. Right now you're seeing something that's tangible. You can sink your teeth into. So
I think the big
you need to keep
difference
that
is
in
how
there.
committed they are to running the football. That is a significant difference for me. They're not dropping back 28, 32 times.
And it's balanced too. It looks good. It's not too left one way, not too right one way. It looks like balanced football.
And one of the craziest things, Jeff, is they're going to run the football. You still can't stop them.
It's like the Browns. It's like the Browns.
Still can't stop them.
Is Deuce Staley calling plays as of right now?
I know he has an elevated influence. From I know Dan Campbell's the main play caller, but Deuce Staley and Ben Johnson have heavy influence, and I know that Anthony Lynn has a big influence on the run game.
I would say, why not? I would have liked to see them give Deuce the shot as soon as they got rid of Anthony Lynn. They just said, hey, Deuce, I mean, if you're, like you said, the guy's qualified enough. He's been, the Eagles for 17 years as
I think
assistant.
Dan did the right thing by not doing that. I'll tell you why. He doesn't have to make a mid-season firing. Because if you promote someone to OC, why is Anthony Lynn there? He just took over play-calling duties. And what he did was he's showing his staff, this is how I want us to play. Now, I know the first few games it was rough. But to his credit, he's gotten better, more consistent, and more fluid. And I actually like the play calling.
And also,
it's actually watchable.
And also, too, along with that, one key thing that I've noticed since Dan Campbell's taken over play calling, Jared Goff looks like a different QB. He looks like the QB that everybody thought the Lions were getting when the trade was happening. Not a guy that's going to go out there and win you all these big games, but a guy who, if he's going to be a bridge,
keep you afloat,
keep you from being at the total bottom, and it has to be something with the play calling because it was like a light switch went off and it got better each week. So if you seen the clip a couple of days ago when Anthony Lynn was talking about when he came here, he didn't expect his role to be basically reduced to what it is right now. With what he came here to be a play caller. I mean, if that kind of was like for me the writing on the wall that his exit is imminent.
Definitely.
Yeah, look, I mean, when you look at a team, are they growing, right? Now you could look around the league and all the bottom tier teams. And I think every fan base feels like their team is growing. But looking around the bottom 5, I'm more comfortable about the Lions than I am about the Giants. I don't like Gettleman. They'll figure that out in the offseason. I don't like their quarterback. I don't like the receivers that they paid money for. I look at the Jets. Zach Wilson actually had a good game yesterday, so I got to give him credit. Trevor Lawrence looks better.
Quick to go back to that Giants thing. Just imagine how different things would be if the Lions if Kenny Galladay actually got that money.
I'm glad that you know what, like one of the
That
better
was probably
decisions.
the blessing in disguise.
Yep.
I'm so glad that his true character, and I'm not trying to slander him this morning, but somebody has to do it. This guy was a 3rd-round pick.
Yes, that's I believe
And
3rd round.
During his time in Detroit, he was very low-key. And when it came around contract year, after he broke out, had a double-digit touchdown year, he became, I'm on IG, I got the models, I got the chicks, I'm going to the club, I'm doing this. I just looked at it as I was not all for it. And you're telling me I got to pay you $16 million a year, $14 million for what? For you to spend it on hookers? No, I'm good, man. I'm good. You can go to New York and do that. I swear to God, like it's exactly what came to my mind when Kenny Galladay kind of started lashing out. I was like, that's not a player you want in your building.
Especially, you don't see him. That's not a Dan Campbell guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about a guy like you think guy's going to the strip club doing whatever.
Even before Dan Campbell, I don't even think it's that. I just think he was done with football. It was
it's
about
not even
him.
really the whole what he does off the field. It was just how his actions were reportedly.
And he couldn't stay healthy. That was my thing.
And,
who cares what he does off the field?
You can't be a diva and be unhealthy and be a quote unquote locker room head case and expect money. Nah. It's not going to work like that.
No.
And I don't know whether he turned down the line. I believe he turned down the Lions deal reportedly. They were going to give him that big deal, and he went to the Giants for the same money. Hey, good for you. Good for the Lions. That's one of the – I
heard the strip clubs in New York are better.
That's your problem in New York now.
I just can't imagine a guy like that on this team. Like I really can't. You see this Lions team. It's just it's very collective group effort. Like no one's really shining. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown just shining now. Like Galladay would have been asking.
I'm so glad he brought that up mid-season. We talked about this, Corey. They should not go for a wide receiver. See what you have.
Yeah.
And
Why
now
not?
you're seeing it the last 4 games.
Why not? This is the guy that slipped to you in the 4th round. He was not even really supposed to be there when you drafted him. I've seen his talent throughout training camp. I'm like, okay, this guy's got to be like the number 3 going in here. I mean, even with Cephas was healthy, I was thinking like, hey, Amon-Ra is looking pretty damn good. Unfortunately, they suffered some injuries, but now you're starting to see what Amon-Ra can do now that he's getting more involved in the offense, and he's getting better quickly. Like that touchdown yesterday, that was not so. He was not supposed to score that.
No.
You guys want to laugh?
That was ball hawk.
Kenny Galladay, almost 350 yards fewer than Amon-Ra St. Brown, 0 touchdowns, $14 million a year. On and off the field, can't get healthy, can't get right.
He was supposed to.
I'll do you one better. There is one stretch of the season that DeAndre Swift had more receiving yards and touchdowns than Galladay this year.
I think Jared Goff. We got to run the Statue of Liberty, whatever the hell that play is. We got to get Jared Goff a touchdown catch just so we can say on this show that Jared Goff has more receiving touchdowns than Kenny Galladay. Make it happen. I know you're listening. Make it happen. We got to go to break. When we get back, Corey, you want to stick around or?
Sure, why not?
You want to go sit outside in the cold?
I'm straight. I'm straight.
Because I'll pass on that.
All right. We're going to talk about play calling moving in towards the end of the year, what the Lions look like. Can they clinch the number 2 or even the number 1 overall pick? But before we go, I got to tell you about our good friends at my bookie. Now, if you suck at gambling, you guys know exactly how I feel. You probably shouldn't be doing it.
That's me.
But if you have some confidence, feeling good about yourself, feeling good about the Monday Night Football game tonight, Dolphins, New Orleans. Fantasy football implications on tonight, buddy. Just so you know. We'll get to that later. Bet from anywhere, anytime, using my bookie. Sign up today using code Woodward. They'll match you dollar for dollar. Holiday specials, guys. Take advantage of the offers. You put in $100, they'll give you $100. You put in $200, they'll match you and give you $200. Don't miss out. Up to $1,000. Basically a risk-free bet. Not sure why the hell you're still listening to me. You should be signing up already. You should be swiping up and going in and doing it. Now, like I said earlier, if you do suck at gambling or you just have a problem, addiction problem, can't get off the blackjack table, can't stop shooting craps, or you just can't stop betting on your favorite sports team because you're a fanboy, well, you got to call the Gambling Problem Hotline at 1-800-270-7117.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. 8:32 in the morning, Monday morning. The weather is what you'd expect it to be in Michigan for the first time, I think I can say, all year. This looks like Michigan weather.
Yep.
And it's not a good thing, honestly, right now. Weather was awful. Drive-in was really terrible.
Yeah.
Corey was late. Jeff was late.
I had one.
Fish was on time because he's Fish.
I was driving with one
Well,
windshield
I was
wiper.
actually late for my standards.
Well,
I was
there you
here
go.
at
So everybody was late this morning.
And you know, City Detroit, if you're listening to me, salt the damn roads.
Yeah.
Like Governor Whitmer says, fix the damn road. Detroit, salt the damn roads. I mean, come on. Like, I'm over here driving 5 miles an hour down Outer Drive. What the hell is that?
One of the craziest things I experienced on my way in today was there was a car on Southfield turned in the complete opposite direction.
Oh, no.
And the lights were beaming towards everybody that was driving towards Southfield.
Spin out.
Because it was a spin out. And I'm just sitting there like,
Blind as a bat.
what's the problem? So, like, is someone gonna help him? Like, your car doesn't look totaled. Can you, like, try to move? It was really bad. I mean, we all drove around him, but you know, I hope he got to work on time. His morning or her morning is probably ruined. But all right, Corey, takeaways from Sunday. I think we can all agree. Happy that they keep their draft position.
Yep.
Happy that they're improving on the field. Happy with the play calling. Having said all that, there's no clear number 1 overall pick this year, man. There isn't. There's no quarterback. And unless ESPN puts another 10, 15 million in advertising on Kenny Pickett, I don't see anybody daring to touch him in the top 5. So now the Lions are in a tricky position, Corey. Right? Where do you see their offseason heading if they remain at 2? Which I think is a less stressful pick than 1.
Especially if Jags are number 1.
And you save some money.
Yeah.
I think between Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau, whoever goes 1, they're picking the other one at number 2.
Do you really?
Well, here's the
do you
problem.
think Jacksonville will take a defensive lineman?
You.
That's the question.
I think Jacksonville
Then
gets
OT.
Neil out of Alabama.
Do they trade back?
So
to 3?
if the Jags are picking 1, they got to take the tackle, unless they trade back to 3 to the team that wants one of Thibodeau or Hutchinson.
No, that's the thing.
That's why
that would be the smart play, and don't pull a Matt Patricia and tip your hand.
Don't take Evan Neal number 1.
That would be the smart hand.
You mean you should have signed a backup quarterback a few weeks before the draft?
Yeah,
I thought that was like common NFL procedure.
If you want to get fired, yeah.
Chase Daniels? What do you mean? No, nobody. That wasn't tipping our hand. That was just, hey, we want a backup quarterback.
The highest paid.
Pretty serviceable.
The highest paid backup because, well, we plan on taking a quarterback, but he's there just in case. We're going to overpay for the just in case. Yeah, we totally didn't tip our hand. Geniuses, right? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. If they trade back, I think that would be definitely the smarter play, because might be able to still some more draft picks. Who knows? Maybe a player. I don't know. Just spitballing here, because remember, you still got the other first round pick as well. So you're in a pretty position.
Speaking of in position, it looks like some team that not many people here in the city are top of the NFC West now. Rams are 11-4. They play the Ravens, and then I believe the Niners, and then
they could win.
The Cardinals play the Cowboys and the Seahawks. God, I remember everything I see. Jesus Christ.
Cardinals are losing.
Those are tough games.
Yeah.
And I think Cardinals are losing out. I think they stay at 10 wins. They're lucky if they get to 11. So basically, the Rams just need to win one of two.
Yeah, it's just
the Rams need to win one of two. If they do it, they're back. They win the NFC West. That's it. First division title for Stafford, et cetera, et cetera. But kind of why I brought that up is the draft pick. They're going to have to play a wild card game. I don't see them getting the 1 seed.
No.
That's for the Packers.
Yeah.
And maybe the Bucks if the Bucks just keep winning and the Packers drop a few, which I don't see happening.
Nah.
Having said that, you're probably picking 23 to 28 depending on the run they make. You're going to find a damn good player at that spot.
You're starting getting a top 30 player in the draft.
Yeah. And you're getting 3 top 33 players in the draft.
Yeah.
For that matter.
Yep.
Yeah,
Early second.
And you're going to be, and you have 2 second-round picks.
Yep.
It's not
and you have a GM who I could make the argument. I know it's only been 1 season, but please, guys, understand where I'm coming from. I could make the argument that Brad Holmes is the greatest GM to walk in to Allen Park.
Talent evaluation. I mean,
just all around. I could already make the argument.
I don't
care. I don't care about Trinity Benson.
The first season so far, he's nailed them.
The fact that he is that good in the draft, I could care less what he does in trades or free agency. He'll get better. I trust him. I'm not joking. I'm being so serious about this.
I can get on board.
He's got an A from me.
Amon Rob, Derek Barnes,
Levi,
Iffy.
Yeah.
Oware's development. Like, there are things happening for a reason. Coaching has gotten better. It is a coaching staff that looks like they can coach a young team. Is this the coaching staff for a winning team? That is totally up for debate. A debate I am willing to have maybe another day.
I'll tell you this much, and I can't go into specifics because you can't really mention certain details. But I'll say this: when you're in the practices, when you're in practices, and you see they give us the window to be able to see the walkthroughs and whatnot. Those players are hanging on to every single word that the coaching staff is going through. They're responding. They're not mailing it in. They're practicing hard. And then on top of that, when they're getting coached hard and when they're getting yelled at, they're just like, okay, and they go back through it and they're like, okay, they improve. They're not just like, oh God, he's getting on me. Then
right.
I'm whatever. It's like, my bad. Go back through, do what they're supposed to do. So it's and you're seeing that on the field.
You saw it with Jeff Okudah too,
yeah,
with Aubrey Pleasant early in the year. So I love it, man. I mean, guys that are willing to be coached is important. That's why.
As a player, you need to accept, and not only as a player, as an individual. If you can't accept coaching, you will never be successful.
Never.
I don't care who you are. I don't care how talented you are. If you aren't willing to acknowledge or accept that, hey, there is somebody that could benefit me and I could learn from, and you're not willing to take that challenge on, that says more about you than about anyone else. So, I don't want to say it's a given that you have to accept coaching, but you know what? They've done a really good job. They really have, especially these last 4 or 5 weeks, man. It's actually a genuine surprise.
You see what he said that he was going to bring to Detroit starting to come to fruition. If you want to argue that it came a little bit too late, hey, it's the guy's first, hired head coaching job. I mean, we know he was an interim coach of the Dolphins, but this is his first hired job. This is his first time
coaching.
This is his first time putting his staff together, putting his real imprint and trying to install his identity into a locker room, into an organization. And it was some bumps in the road, but you're starting to see him put it together. And now what you want to see over these next 2 games is them continue to improve upon what they've been building over these past few weeks, and then keep that culture next year when they bring in the newer guys, draft the newer guys, go into the free agency and try to attract those guys. Like, okay, I'm seeing what the Lions did with all of these undrafted free agents and guys they have to pick up off the street. I want to go ahead and go join that and help build on that. You're starting to see that locker. Detroit's not a destination right now. They're a 12-1 team, but you're seeing the culture being built here for where it'll be inviting for players who want to come here.
A little more attractive.
Finally, a front office that you believe in, that you can get behind with, and even with Dan Campbell. Look, we have so much time to talk about this. Is he the guy for the future? Can he get you over the hump? Whatever. Long time, guys. I have a lot of time for that.
It's still invalid.
I think the point is you're gonna have to talk about that eventually, right?
Yeah, eventually.
And if he turns out to be Mark Jackson, great. If he turns out to be Rick Carlisle, okay, fine. Or he turns out to be the guy that takes you to the promised land. Who knows? The point is, he's earned the right, in my opinion, to not only come back and coach next year, unless next year is a complete disaster, which I don't expect it to be, but barring a disaster, he's earned the right to fulfill 3, maybe even 4 years. Yeah. Because he's shown player development, which I think is one of the most important aspects of coaching. Number 2, he's looked better play calling. I'm not expecting him to be the play caller, but I'm not going to know until the offseason anyways. Is he going to assume it himself and become Sean Payton? Or is he going to pass it off and just go back to being the head coach? That information, I don't know. I can't give you that right now. So there are many things that you're unsure about going into next year. But you know what? Player development, week-to-week improvement, that's the 2 things I pointed to before the season started that I just wanted to see. I could care less about the wins and losses. And here we are, 15 games in, 2-12-1. And the record is nothing to me. I think the great thing is your X factor has been defense all year. Coming off the worst defensive statistical year ever in the NFL last year. Your players are playing better. It's football you can actually watch. Granted, the first few weeks were extremely rough. Wanted to vomit, especially almost midway into the season, I could argue. But hey, after the bye week and after that tie, it's been good to watch. It's a watchable product. Now, that doesn't mean I'm saying Dan Campbell's going to give you a Super Bowl, Detroit. But what it does mean is he didn't hire Matt Patricia. Okay? It means you didn't hire Matt Patricia, and he's not messing everything up right now. You are trending upward.
Dan Campbell's the anti-Matt Patricia.
Yeah, you're not degressing, you're progressing.
You are slow. Look, I'm not saying they're through the roof progression.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're slowly growing. And if that gets you to a division title, hell yes. If it gets you just short of it in a few years, all right, well then you look, why did we not win? Was it talent? Was it coaching? What was the fundamental reason? And if it is coaching, well, then you can make that decision a few years from now. But I'm not even interested in talking about it because I've finally seen an identity that I can put a stamp on 2-3 years from now, Corey.
You know what? It kind of they're trying to be they're trying to me, Dan Campbell is trying to build a football team that is honestly like the city, blue collar, hard working. Those are all the teams that have ever, you want to call it cliche or whatnot. That's just been what it is here in Detroit. All of those blue collar, hard working, gritty teams, it's always worked here.
How'd you pay attention in history class, Corey?
Yeah.
I'm about to give you one.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. When the Lions were winning championships, okay, and were one of the better football teams for decades, probably a decade and a half, what was Detroit? It was a city of what? Innovation. The assembly line, Henry Ford. Ford Motor Company. Innovation. It was the United States of America ran through Detroit. Mm-hmm. It's the biggest city, I could argue, at the time. And they had the best football team. And now I look at the team now, and Detroit's on the up and up. And you see the team, on the up and up. I can kind of make that resemblance. But there's not the wow factor, the impact, the innovation. You see innovation in California, Texas. Okay. So I don't think he needs to build an identity that takes Detroit on. I think what he needs to do is build a football team that the city will support. And maybe you can put two and two together and say, hey, that's what building a team around the city is. Maybe that is what it means. But where I go with it is, if you put out a product that people are proud of and that wins football games, well, then, of course, you're going to have the city on your back.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
This city rallies around winning. I mean, you put out a winning product, everybody's going to come out. You've seen it happen for the Red Wings for decades. You've seen it with the Bad Boys and the Going to Work Pistons, the 06 Tigers, the Tigers 06 did that whole Jim Leland run.
Yep.
So you put out a winning cures all of this. But I just see
Matt Rule on the hot seat, deserves it. Great coaching job he's done. The roster assembled is actually pretty decent defensively. They can't get right offensively. No quarterback, no running back, no offensive line play. Sorry, Matt, I may like you. I don't care. If you don't win football games and you can't get the quarterback right, you're going to be out of a job. I don't care who you are. If I like your coaching, Brandon Staley, now 8-7. Underachieving, in my opinion, right now with that team.
The Chargers went on.
The defense is not improved. He's a defensive guy, Corey. Anthony Lynn was fired because he couldn't get the most out of that defense, not because of Justin Herbert only.
Yeah.
And they are regressing on defense. I am not happy about that right now. But the point is, nobody's absolved from criticism. One, when warranted, and two, when you aren't winning football games. I'm sorry.
When you aren't winning, everything is exposed. Everything gets scrutinized. Everything is under a microscope. That's just what it is. It's a wins and loss business.
All right, I'm game for it. We got to go to break. When we get back, the Rams leapfrog the Arizona Cardinals atop the NFC West. Matthew Stafford has honestly probably one of the worst games I've ever seen him play. It was actually pathetic. 3 turnovers in spite. They still beat the Minnesota Vikings, who honestly were fighting for their playoff lives. So still an impressive win from the standpoint of they overcame adversity. But we got to go to break. When we get back, you guys know what's next. Jeff, do us all a favor. Tell us about our good friends at Guardian Alarm.
Yes, we talk about a defense that overachieves. The Detroit Lions defense, well, I got a defense for you that is always consistent. Guardian Alarm. And Guardian Alarm gets it. Good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide, and will even let you lock and unlock doors. Call 800-STAY-OUT today. You heard Fish. That's 800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Go! Detroit Sports on Demand.
DeAndre Swift, he's going to take it all the way for the touchdown. Open in the corner, he tripled.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app today. Take us with you everywhere you go. Search Woodward Sports Network or WSN Live.
Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network, where I swear to God things happen during the break where I can't even explain to you right now. But I need to get into the NFC West, and I need to get into Rampage Slayer's comment. Adham, Arizona still has control over the division. Though despite the Rams are at the top, they hold the tiebreaker. Last game of the season for both teams will decide it. Not true. True that they do hold the tiebreaker, but not true that the Cardinals are in control. Because the Cardinals play the Dallas Cowboys next week, who I imagine will stomp them. And then they play to the Seahawks, which is never an easy game. So even if they win one of two, they still lose the division. Why? Because that would make them an 11-win football team. And one win from the Rams of the next two would make them a 12-win team, which means, if my math is correct, 12 is greater than 11, which means the Rams win the NFC West. So, excuse me, the Rams are in control of their destiny. If they win one more game, which I think you can all expect them to. Ravens, and then the Niners. Tough games, but no Lamar Jackson. Will he be back? Point is, how concerned, Jeff, should Los Angeles Rams fans be? One, with their football team, and two, with the play of their quarterback, who threw 3 interceptions against a defense that wasn't known for turning the ball over.
Yeah, to me, watching the Rams yesterday, yes, you could use this time to simply say, see, Matthew's not good. 21 for 37, 3 interceptions, had one of his worst games of the year. But despite that, and this is why the Rams, to me, they're dangerous. They are. I mean, they can run the ball. You got Sony Michel, Darrell Henderson. They didn't have Henderson yesterday. Sony Michel, what do you have? 27 for 131. Okay. So they're going back to what they do best, commit to running the football, working off the play action. They got Cooper Kupp still involved. So, yes, Matthew Stafford threw 3 interceptions, but I think the more important thing to take away from this is, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, you throw 3 interceptions and you still win the game. But not only that, now Matthew Stafford in L.A. has 2 of the best players at the position, arguably, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. You have one of the best coaches, in my opinion, in the league. Didn't have, necessarily the greatest, play calling day, but I understand you go into Sean McVay into the playoffs, you're fine. You got the team around him. So I'm not worried about Matthew Stafford in terms of, do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? No, because I said that already this year. So it's not going to surprise me. Now, will they win a playoff game? I think they're still good for a win in the playoffs. They're a good enough team, and I do trust Matthew, especially they're going to play in a wild card game depending on who they match up with. It's going to really determine if you think they're going to win or not. But
for me, it said more about the resiliency and the belief of the team in their quarterback.
Yeah.
To Matthew Stafford's credit, I'm sorry. Easy for me to sit up here and say, 3 interceptions, worst game he's played all year. But that defense is legit. They rallied around their quarterback. They believe in their quarterback. And I believe on Sunday, if Jared Goff is the quarterback and he finishes with that stat line, that the Rams lose that game. Because I don't think they would have believed in the guy that they have.
No, they threw in the towel
under center
with Jared Goff.
And may I remind you that Stafford had 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He took him downfield. Odell Beckham touchdown. He set the tone for the team. He made up for it. And he played a decent game towards the end. It was an awful game overall, but they won the football game. They're now top of their division, 11-4. The defense is peaking at the perfect time. Aaron Donald continues to defy all logic. A guy that's double and triple teamed on every play somehow manages still to get to the quarterback and force fumbles. Beyond me has greatness. It's unbelievable. Having said that, the Rams, I don't think should be slept on in the NFC. And this is coming from the guy who thinks that the Packers are outright the best team in the NFC. I look at the Rams, I look at it, when you can win football games and you get demolished in the turnover battle, you play an awful game. And not just one of your, it's not like you had an off night. No, you played one of your worst games of football offensively. And you still managed to win that football game. Held the team to 20 points. You were up 20-17. Matthew Stafford has the ball. He leads you on a good drive. Sony Michel running the ball very well.
Mm-hmm.
Odell Beckham, corner of the end zone, touchdown. You're up 27-17. Was it 27-17 or 24-17 at the time? Regardless of the point, the Rams are a good football team. And they're going to host a home playoff game, it looks like. And who that could be against, who knows? Could be Philly. Could be one of these teams on the outskirts. Could it be a team on the outside looking in? But you know what? I've got to say, the Cardinals collapsing is hilarious. Losing to the Lions. Getting smacked across the face by the Colts. Oh my God. I live in Detroit. And the laughter I get from watching the Cardinals lose football games. Yes, DeAndre Hopkins is out. I totally understand that. But oh my goodness, it's so funny. Sorry. That's a joke. Cliff Kingsbury, you're a joke. You're telling me you can't coach up your team to beat the Lions and then play at home against the Colts? You can't get up for that game on Christmas Eve? Or, excuse me, on Christmas Day. You can't get up for that one? Kyler Murray. Top 3 quarterback in the league, Adam. Duh. He's playing better than Stafford. That's your quarterback right now? Kyler Murray? I love Kyler Murray. I really do. You can't play like that. You can't be inept on offense when you have one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in football and still a good receiving core and Zach Ertz and Chase Edmonds going off.
Yeah, they beat him scoring 22 points. The Colts.
You can't do that.
Yeah, can't.
Zach Ertz, Christian Kirk, AJ Green has been good this year. You shut him down, what, 1 catch, 33 yards?
And they slowed Jonathan Taylor down a little bit up until the last part of the game, but got to take advantage of that.
I'm sorry, but if I'm the Arizona Cardinals, I made a risky decision when I traded Josh Rosen, and I gave up on that project right away. I'm thinking I'm giving up on the Cliff Kingsbury project. I don't see it. I don't see the advantage Cliff Kingsbury gives the Arizona Cardinals. And I say the same thing about Dan Campbell, guys. So this isn't just about your head coach. I'll say it about Cliff Kingsbury. 2 straight years now, his coaching regresses in December and January.
Yeah, every year. It's the same
I am
thing.
not impressed. I don't see him going on the road or even hosting a.
You can't win
I don't
on the
even see him hosting a home game and winning a playoff game.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
Hasn't done it this season.
Well, DeAndre Hopkins is out. You can't move the ball on offense with that team? Excuse me? What advantage does my head coach give me week in and week out? Dan Campbell looks like a motivational factor. Looks actually like player development. I see that a little early on. What does Cliff Kingsbury give me? Huh? What makes him better than Dan Campbell?
Doesn't look like offense.
What makes him better than Arthur Smith? What makes him better than, I don't know, I could even argue Urban Meyer. What advantage is this guy giving me week in and week out with that football team? A football team that they went all in on.
Yeah.
A football team that I can look right now and say, oh, I don't see them making it out of the wild card. What advantage does Cliff Kingsbury give me? I don't have an answer to that. And what I mean by that is he doesn't give me any. He didn't give me any advantage. Why the hell is he my head coach? Why? Why the hell is he my head coach? And we're sitting here collapsing late in the year, choking away the division, one of the worst home records. We only play good on the road. The hell does that make sense? Not going to happen. Not a fan of it. Look, I hope they lose out. And I hope they lose in the wild card. And I hope they move on from Cliff Kingsbury. Because that's maybe the best thing for them and their football team. Yes, they may be harsh. DeAndre Hopkins is out, but I don't care. The point is, I'm not bought into Cliff Kingsbury, nor should I believe any Arizona Cardinals fan.
Definitely.
Or anybody in that building
There's
should
better
be.
coordinators somewhere all around the league.
Yeah, look, if you're not giving me an advantage on Sunday as a head coach, what the hell are you my head coach for? So,
what's your purpose?
We got to go to break, top of the hour, 9 o'clock approaching us here in downtown Birmingham. When we get back, talk about the Detroit Lions losing 20-16 over the weekend against the Atlanta Falcons. But before we go, I got to tell you about our good friends at the Folding Warehouse. Everybody, host your corporate party event, team building event, or just come in with family and friends and have an awesome time. There are 2 ways to play: $10 unlimited open play, stay the whole time. They're open the entire day, or you can reserve a private lane for $120 for up to 10 people for 2 hours, over 100 beers, $2 Mystic Beer Machine. Who knows what? You'll pull multiple bars, bring your own food, or have it delivered in. Come and get your full on. It's foldingwarehouse.com in Hamtramck. That's foldingwarehouse.com.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Thank you, and welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Whether you're listening live on the radio, live on the Woodward Sports app, featured on the Android and the Apple Store, or you're tuned in on YouTube or Twitter Live, thank you for joining us this morning. Be sure to check out the show after the fact, after it's live. Our podcasts on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find the shows Monday through Friday, every single day. Love it. We got to get into the Lions, Jeff. 20-16. Woo. But before we get into the Lions, we got to talk about fantasy football. Man. So, as you all know, Jeff and I are in the final against each other in the Woodward Sports Fantasy Football League. And he's beating me.
Dude, Stafford.
And he's beating me pretty bad.
Ouch.
I have Mike Gesicki going tonight. I'm down 19 points.
I left you some air to breathe.
There's no hope tonight. So,
you don't think so?
I wanted to give my early speech to Jeff. Congratulations on being the Woodward Sports champion.
By the way, can I butt in? Do we have a trophy?
We will have a trophy, yes.
We're going to put it right here on the show.
And Alex Mayer will be presenting the trophy to Jeff tomorrow.
Does he know?
Who?
Alex Mayer, that he has to come in at 9 a.m. instead of...
He knows.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Wanted to make sure.
Thank you, Fish.
All right, cool.
All right, let's get into the Lions game.
Let's do it.
Long story short, I need 19 points from Mike Gesicki. It's not happening, so congratulations.
It could.
Dude,
Just wanted to get it out of the way. Just wanted to get it out of the way. Congratulations. Totally deserved it.
Thank you.
Totally earned it.
Thank you.
Hope Gesicki doesn't go off tonight.
Eckler didn't play. I got worried.
Hey, but you had a great replacement.
And I didn't play.
You didn't play Josh Jackson
I don't know why. I don't.
It's all good.
I didn't believe in him. But anyway.
All right, Lions lose 20-16, and another performance where I think you can just look at it and say, you know what? Coaching made good decisions. The players played well. They played as well as they could with the amount of injuries. Noah Warrior, they shut down Russell Gage. Zacchaeus didn't do all that much. Yes, Pitts went off, but it's Kyle Pitts. Not too worried about that.
Couldn't match up with him.
Check. Held Cordero Patterson in check. Wasn't really too worried about him. Played out really nice for the team. Defense still showing up and playing good games with a ton of injuries. I like that. I do. Play calling getting a little better, getting a little creative week to week. I like that as well. I like the decision to kick the field goal because I know had it been 4th and 2, had they gotten back to the line of scrimmage on 3rd down, had they gained a yard or a half inch, they would have gone for it. But the fact that it was 4th and 5 with a backup quarterback, excuse me, I wouldn't have gone for it either.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have. I don't care that there's a 2% more likely chance that you win the football game, Adam. Analytics, man. Shut the hell up. I don't care about your analytics.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up. 2% chance what? Did you take into account that Tim Boyle's the quarterback, buddy? That there's no wide receiver outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown? That there's no tight end? It's a good game.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a good decision, Jeff. I really did. I didn't mind the field goal. You gave yourself insurance on the fact that if they made a big play and you had to use all your timeouts and they brought down the clock to 40, 50 seconds and they kicked a field goal, you still were able to tie the game.
Yeah.
And on the off chance, which actually ended up happening, that your defense held them, which they did with the fumble, that you had a chance to win the football game, which is what the field goal gave you an opportunity to do. The field goal gave you an opportunity to get the ball back and win the game. That is all you can ask for. Had you gone for it and not gotten the 4th down, well, my friends, what would have happened was that you would have had to go down and tie the game. Now, you could totally make the argument this morning, well, Dan Campbell would have gone for 2. Okay.
But then you got to
I could totally concede that.
Yeah.
But from the fundamental standpoint of decision making, I made, as Dan Campbell, I made the decision to kick the field goal, knowing that if my defense holds true, we have an opportunity to go win that football game. And they did. All you can ask for. All you can ask for. Jeff?
No, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think more importantly, you already talked about it. He has a backup quarterback in that situation. But if you look on the other side of the ball, they were stopping the run. And Dan alluded to it after the game. He said, I knew Arthur would be playing conservative. If we kick the ball, we got a field goal, give the ball back to him. He's going to play conservative. And you saw that. Jerm was able to get a nice forced fumble there. But the decision itself to go for the field goal, I think it was fine with me. I didn't care about the analytics. It's all situational. I mean, you see, Dan Campbell knows his team. 4th and short, you understand, listen, we can kick this field goal. We settle, we go down 4. Hopefully our defense gets a stop. I'm going to put my trust in the defensive side of the ball, and it paid off. They got a stop. They forced a fumble. They were in a position to win the game, and that's all you can ask for. Were you in a position to win the game? They were. Tim Boyle had a chance to win the game, similarly to the Jared Goff fashion of the Minnesota game a couple weeks ago. They just didn't convert, and he talked about it in the post-game press conference. He said, listen, if I had to go back, maybe I look towards Josh Reynolds or Amon-Ra St. Brown. He tried, he thought it was zone coverage. It ended up being man coverage. And he said Dan Campbell called a great play. I just didn't make the right decision. So you take that and you live with it, because you understand if in a year or two, Dan Campbell and Deuce Staley, whoever the offensive coordinator is, if you have your quarterback, let's say it's the Chiefs or whatever, even the Chargers, you like to bring up the Chargers. If you have those guys in those situations, you go for it. You have an opportunity. I mean, Brandon Staley at times, maybe you question him going for it, but you do. Majority of the time, you feel like you have a chance. In this situation, Tim Boyle, that offense, I don't have a problem. He was confident in his defense to get a stop. They did that. They got the ball back, and they just didn't win the game. So I think, to me, that was probably one of the best situations you could have had. The Lions had a chance to win the game. They fought their asses off. They still take the loss. So you still have a better odds to get the number 2 overall pick, but they're showing improvement. Yes, it is the Atlanta Falcons. They do have a better team. They don't have Calvin Ridley, of course, but Kyle Pitts. I mean, they have guys.
I don't know. Atlanta's not that good of a roster. Their record is 7-8.
I think they're better than us. I mean, clearly, if you want to look at a comparison, just for players. I mean, they are.
I didn't see that yesterday. I didn't see that they're so much better.
Well,
than
you don't
this
see that in
team.
any Lions game. It doesn't look like guys are much better than us.
Well, not really. I mean, you look at the Arizona Cardinal game, right? They totally wiped them off the floor. You wouldn't have expected that. But going into the game, you knew that Arizona was head and shoulders above the Detroit Lions.
So it doesn't matter.
But the Falcons had everybody available to them that they've had for a majority of the year. And they did not look good.
Yeah.
And if I look at the Falcons' schedule, they have 7 wins. Yes, they are a 7-win football team. They are 7-8. But they haven't beaten a team over 500.
No,
outside of, I want to say they won one game. Was it either Tampa? They won one game against a winning team. The rest have come against bottom-tier teams.
Yeah, they're not a playoff team. They're a bottom-tier, better of the bottom-tier teams.
They're just a bottom-tier team that's overachieving. And guys, I talked to you about this, about Caldwell. And I always tell you this, and I always tell you this. Is what you are doing repeatable in the future? And what do I mean by that? Can the Atlanta Falcons win all these games next year, given this similar roster, given Matt Ryan at quarterback, a second-year head coach in Arthur Smith? Look at their wins. Their wins are against the Giants, the Jets, the Dolphins. The Saints are the only team they beat with a winning record. The Panthers, and now the Lions. Every good team they faced, the Niners, loss. Buccaneers, loss. Patriots, loss. Cowboys, loss. They've lost to the Panthers, lost to the Washington football team, lost to the Bucs and Eagles. There you go. So I look at the Atlanta Falcons. I see frauds. I don't see a team that is an actual 7-8. You know what a 7-8 record tells me about your football team? It means you're a first-round draft pick and nailing a second or third-round pick away, and probably a good offseason from being a division contender. That's what a 7-8 team looks like to me. The Falcons look like a rebuilding team, and they are. And yes, they're winning 7 games. Absolutely. To Arthur Smith's credit, he's winning games.
Mm-hmm.
Win-loss column absolutely matters. But is it everything for the Atlanta Falcons, who I could argue likely will not make the playoffs?
Yeah, they shouldn't.
And can you really tell me that they are better than the Lions? I don't know. even their second. I don't think their first team.
They were better on paper going in, obviously, and onto the game. But no, not. I don't think so. I think the Lions. If you look at the stats, the team stats, the Lions beat them in pretty much every category, but then lost the game. Like they had time of possession, they had more rushing, passing yards. I mean, it just.
I know. It's weird. When I look at Atlanta, I don't see a very good football team.
No, I don't either.
I don't see a good team that's trying to be very good.
Yeah, no,
I see
me
a
either.
below average team that's winning more games given their schedule than they probably should have. And next year, don't be surprised when Arthur Smith and the Atlanta Falcons are likely 5-12. And everybody will say, well, they're regressing. They've gotten worse, Adam. He should get fired too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I don't see it. Yes, 7 or 8 wins, Don Burr. Of course the town would be happy with 7, 8 wins. But the point I'm going with this, and where I'm trying to go with this, is how the win-loss record sometimes can deceive us. It deceived you under Jim Caldwell, yes or no? Did you actually think winning 8 games in a 9-win season on fourth quarter comebacks was sustainable and repeatable? Did you actually think that was the case? No. And the Atlanta Falcons are a team, what I call them, are a team that are fringe on a rebuild and just aren't willing to accept that they're in a rebuild.
Right.
They have some pieces. They have some nice players. Don't get me wrong.
Matt Ryan's still there.
But they're not a Super Bowl team. They're not winning their division anytime soon. So they need to accept that they need to move on from their quarterback and they need to enter a rebuild. That is the project. Not this project where they're meddling and they're not getting anywhere with this. I don't see where they're going with this. I don't see it. I really don't. We got to go to break. When we get back, around the league, lots of action over this holiday weekend. Saturday football games, Sunday football games, Monday Night Football tonight. So many games to talk about. So excited. But before we go, Jeff, could you tell everybody where you get that splendid haircut?
Yes, I can.
Because it is splendid this morning.
No.
I mean, you have the little poof on the side.
Dude, I appreciate you.
The waves going this morning.
I was driving into work with one windshield wiper, getting out of my car. It was snowing, but you know what? Lady Jane's, guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff. And like football 5 days a week, we like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. You walk in, you sign in, you sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You walk in anytime. I'm staring right at it. They got televisions. You can sit down, get your hair cut, watch your favorite sports teams, and before you know it, you're handsome and clean. So get to Lady Jane's, walk in anytime, because it is wicked awesome.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. We're back at it again, 9:14 in the morning here in downtown Birmingham, Woodward Sports Studios, next to the Birmingham Roast Coffee Shop, which I have to say, splendid coffee. Although I can't drink it this morning because I have blood work to get, but hey, all right. I can go one day without caffeine. I think I'll live. I can go one morning. I don't know how I'm surviving to this minute, but around the NFL, Jeff, we'll start with the 49ers and the Tennessee Titans in a game that really shocked me.
Yeah, shocked me.
It was a tale of two halves, and it also involved subtle heartbreak.
A.J. Brown.
I went up against A.J. Brown.
That guy played.
He broke my heart.
And broke your heart.
But Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, that was a game you have to win.
Yeah.
You're up 10-0 at halftime. Everything going in your favor. The red zone interception really killed them.
Yeah.
That was really bad. Jimmy forced it to Kittle.
Yeah.
It really cost them all the momentum they had. The Titans' defense was holding up, stopping the run, forcing 3 and outs. George Kittle caught 2 passes on the first drive, didn't catch a ball for the rest of the game. Titans, guys, we talk about what Dan Campbell could look like. Maybe it's Mike Vrabel. Maybe if you want to use an actual coach comp.
Well,
maybe it is Vrabel.
You weren't always a fan of that either.
No, I think it was too early.
Yeah,
and it still is too early, but because you're comparing a first-year coach to successful coaches, right? Who've won playoff games, who've won a division. I don't think that's really fair.
Yeah.
But if you're just a comp, like when people say Dan Campbell is Mike Ditka, no, shut the hell up. Bill Parcells, no, shut the hell up. Like, no, that doesn't work like that.
From a former player, I get what you're saying. It makes sense.
I see the identity of the Titans. I see a little bit of that in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm going. Funky, I quit drinking caffeine a year ago. It's a little to get used to, but now I don't miss it at all. Funky, I may have to take that challenge because, to be honest with you, I struggle with caffeine, and I also struggle with blood pressure, which is why I go get my blood taken all the time. So I got to get my shit together. So, Justin, you can have fun editing that one out. Sorry, buddy. Merry Christmas.
You're an idiot.
Good to have you back.
All right.
Love you, Justin.
All right. Recap, though, of the Niners-Titans game. Yeah. I'm not happy with the Niners. I think that was a missed opportunity. They will likely still get into the playoffs as a wild card, but I am slowly losing that love and attachment that I have as them as a dark horse.
Mm-hmm.
That game really concerned me. I saw a lot of flaws in that team. If Deebo Samuel isn't moving the ball for you downfield, if teams take away George Kittle, you are inept on offense. Browns-Packers, Nick Chubb, my goodness. Can you talk to me about Nick Chubb? Unbelievable. Whoa, excuse me. How dare I? Nick Chubb? Nick Chubb was not the center of attention on Saturday night.
You know who
Absolutely
was.
not.
You know who was.
It was Cleveland's finest. Cleveland's own. The best quarterback in the NFL, hands down. You can't even argue with me after Saturday. He is not only the best quarterback, I could argue the best quarterback in NFL history, and that is Baker Mayfield. Mr. 4 interceptions himself. Mr. I touchdown in Wisconsin. I'm going to take a selfie and I'm going to look like a loser and I'm going to throw 4 interceptions because, damn it, that's what I know how to do.
You do realize they still had a chance to win that game.
I don't give a crap, Fish.
Okay. I just want you to know.
Good for them. He can thank Nick Chubb for that. And you know what he did when they had a chance to win the game?
He messed up.
What'd he do?
But many people
that's all right.
Well,
Fish.
People talk about the holding call.
I will give him, not him, but necessarily the Browns one escape. I did see that play. It was clearly a PI, but still,
I don't care.
But despite that, 3 interceptions.
You had 3 quarters.
Despite that,
you had 3 quarters to play football. I didn't tell you to wake up in the 4th and actually give Nick Chubb the ball, which was working all night, that you decided to deviate from, which is also on Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah,
Kevin, I love you, buddy. Coach of the year last year. Totally deserved it. I'm a big fan of Kevin Stefanski. Dude, you know better. And you see this quarterback every single day at practice. And you still drop him back that often? Are you kidding me? You gotta, with a quarterback like Baker, you gotta limit the amount of times he has to throw the ball downfield. What did the Cleveland Browns do on Saturday? They gave him every opportunity to throw the ball downfield. Why? I don't understand. Nick Chubb was having a night.
Yeah, 17 carries. Come on.
He's got to finish with 27, 28 carries that game. And you probably could have won.
Yeah.
Green Bay fell asleep. They fell asleep. They gave up some plays defensively. They couldn't stop the run, which has been a flaw of Green Bay's all year. Aaron Rodgers didn't put the game away when he had the opportunity. That was nice. Packers improved to 12-3. And as I always do every week, I give you my weekly Matt LaFleur love. So I will just remind you his first 3 seasons, 13-3, 13-3, now 12-3, likely to finish 14-3.
He's coach of the year.
Overrated head coach.
He's coach of the year.
I think he's catapulted coach of the year over Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
They've lost 2 straight. The Bills won that game. We'll get to that a little later. It made no sense to me that Cleveland was in that football game. I'm not sure if that told me more about the Packers or about Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
But all I know is Cleveland, I will work for free. You tell me when and where, I will lead the get the hell Baker out of Cleveland. Get Baker the hell out of Cleveland, I will lead that charge for you. It should be happening on every radio station, every TV channel, every social media platform. We should make the TikTok the Baker Mayfield challenge. You know what that is? Packing a suitcase and getting the hell out of Cleveland. That's the Baker Mayfield challenge. Done with him. And was never in with him. Get him out.
We're done with him. Imagine what Cleveland's saying on their airwaves. Who knows? I mean, you could have some guys that like him, but oh my goodness. If anyone who watched that game Sunday, I don't know what you took out of it, but majority of it was Kevin Stefanski, Baker Mayfield. That was the two things. Maybe the Packers, letting them into the game a little bit too, but Packers won the game, and they found a way to do it. So, I mean, listen, you can't throw 4 interceptions. And the most confusing part about that whole game, when you look at the stats, the Browns were efficient on third down, 7 for 12, thanks to who? Nick Chubb. And partially Baker, but no, Nick Chubb. They should have ran the ball more. They kind of got away from it, and the Browns doing Brown things this season. So hopefully they bounce back, but they're too good of a roster to be 7-8. There's no excuses. Even without Kareem Hunt, you got Nick Chubb, so they beat themselves.
All right, next game, Colts Cardinals. I loved watching the Colts take it to the Arizona Cardinals without their offensive line. They missed everybody but one player.
Carson
One
Wentz.
starting player. Carson Wentz looked really good. Michael Pittman came back after being ejected like an idiot. Had a good game. 8 catches, 82 yards, I believe.
Yep.
Solid. Jonathan Taylor showed why he should be a front runner for MVP. Watch out. Watch out, AFC. You thought it was the Bills. You thought it was the Chiefs. Belichick was back. Everything was in order. No, it's not. This team is a problem. Defensively, they are outstanding. They're a top 5 defense in my opinion.
And they had no Darius Leonard yesterday.
They are a top 5 defense,
Or
a
2 days
top
ago.
5 O-line, a top 2 running game, and they have a quarterback who, honestly, look at Carson Wentz on the year. I believe it's 27 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Couple interceptions, not a lot.
He's doing very good. He had a ton of mistakes early on in the year. He hasn't been making them. That's a good football team, and that's a team that travels. Any team that can run the ball and play defense, it travels in January. Colts are a dark horse for me, and of course, we got to talk about the Cardinals. Bye-bye. I hope you lose the next 2. I hope you get bounced in the wild card. Sayonara. Cliff Kingsbury, get it together, man. I don't want to have to see him lose his job. Because he's shown he's a good coach. You can be a good coach in the NFL. It's not a bad thing. You're a good coach. You're not great. When you have Kyler Murray and that team, and you start 10-2, you're trying to be great. You don't accept good. 10-7, that's what they could be. Worst case, they finish 10-7. Best case, they finish 12-5, which I doubt. So they're likely finishing 11-6. Not the worst season if you look at it, outside
Big picture,
looking in.
yeah.
But they did start 10-2, which means they finished 1-5. Or excuse me, 1-4, which is not good. Having said that, next game, Rams-Vikings. We kind of touched on it earlier, so I want to skip it. Bills-Patriots. The Bills. Josh Allen. Damn it, I've been waiting to see this. No, seriously.
No, I know. I
You
know what you're
needed
saying.
Josh Allen to show he's a franchise quarterback. Now, we all agreed we love Josh Allen. He was great. He's shown flashes. Consistent play, absolutely. But when was Josh Allen ever going to say, not today, my shoulders, you follow me, I'm going to take us where we need to go, which is top of the AFC East, where we're supposed to be, and we're going to beat this team. They got lucky the weather was bad at home. They got lucky they beat us on the road. We're going to go to the Foxborough, and we're going to deliver the knockout blow, and we're going to go and get a top of our division. That's a franchise quarterback. Josh Allen, welcome to the club, buddy. Finally saw it. Magnificent performance. Devin Singletary coming out, exploding onto the scene. Love how they used Ian McKenzie out of the backfield as well. They even ran some Zach Moss.
Yep.
Three guys getting him work. I liked it. Stephon Diggs, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, proved it again. Dawson Knox emerging as a top, I wouldn't say a top tier, but I would say
He's
top
in
12.
there. Yeah, he's
top
in there.
10, top 12 tight end. He's emerging. He's getting comfortable. Josh Allen clearly loves him. So you got something in Buffalo. Defense getting better week by week. Jeff, your thoughts?
Well, I didn't learn anything about the Bills' defense. I knew they were quite the defense to be reckoned with. I mean, Michael Hyde by himself had 2 interceptions, and they've been the best pass defense pretty much all year. I mean, rushing, they've been exposed at times. You saw it against the Patriots. But this week, what a win in Foxborough. And not only Josh Allen throwing for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, which you could talk all about. What stands out to me is the 12 carries from Josh Allen. You haven't seen a lot of that, now the last couple of weeks you have. You've seen him starting to scramble more, try and get a first down, which I love out of Josh Allen. He's athletic. He like Herbert, like those other guys, he can use his legs as well. So I'm glad he's doing it. This guy, before the season, was my MVP pick. Ain't looking like it right now, but they're going to finish strong, and I think they're still a dangerous team in the playoffs. I mean, despite being 9-6, like you said, travels. I mean, they can run the ball, not only with their quarterback, but they have 2 guys in the backfield. They can throw the ball. They have the best pass defense in the league. So most complete team, one of them. So Bills are quite dangerous going into playoffs.
Well, since we have a few minutes, I do want to. I see some chatting going on about the Green Bay Packers potentially resting against the Detroit Lions. Guys, please. May I remind you that the Buccaneers play the Jets and the Panthers. They will finish 13-4. The Packers need to play the next 2 games, and they need to win them because I know the Bucs will be winning their next 2 games. The Bucs will finish 13-4. I don't know off the top of my head who owns the tiebreaker between the two, but what I do know is that if you're Green Bay and you're 13-3 going into Week 17, and the Buccaneers are 12-4, if you lose and they win, they probably leapfrog you and go to the 1 seed. Not ideal. They're playing against Detroit. I don't see them resting players, guys. Yeah. I don't see them. Go ahead.
I'll be there, so I'm hoping they don't as well. I want to watch them. I want to watch them in full capacity, and it doesn't make sense, obviously. Like you said, if it's 1 win difference, they're not going to rest anybody. And
speaking of somebody who's arrived, franchise quarterback, thank you guys for bringing this up, Matt Carrier. Thoughts on Joe Burrow's game? 525 yards, the 4th most passing yards in NFL history. Watch out for the AFC North going forward. That's the team. Sorry, they got the quarterback. They got the young wide receivers. It's young across the board. They may need to address the Joe Mixon situation 2-3 years from now. But for the next 2 to 3 years, that's a damn good football team. Defensively, they've gotten better. Zach Taylor offensively, my goodness, they've got it together. They've got it together.
Yeah.
They really do. I'm really happy for them. Joe Burrow has arrived. He looks and is a franchise quarterback. Yes, he struggled with turnovers early on in the year, but my goodness, did he make up for it in a divisional game. That's not a game where you're playing against a team that's never seen your tape, never played against you. No. He did that against a division rival. Yeah. Yes, without their featured quarterback. Yes, of course.
But their backup still threw 300 yards.
Cares?
Yeah.
I don't. I know I don't. Hell of a performance by Joe Burrow. We got to go to break. When we get back, we got to preview the NFC playoff picture, which we'll get into the 1 seeds. But I think the wild card spots are more of where the conversation is going to this morning, guys. There's some teams there that I don't think they're going to make it, and there's some teams that I see making potentially a deep run. We'll get to that after the break. But, Jeff, before we go, could you tell all of our good friends about Gypsy Vodka? Because I'm going to tell them. I'm not sure why I looked at you and pointed to you. I do apologize.
I do have the bottle.
Well, put it down. You're not old enough yet.
What?
I'm joking.
Hey.
I know. You're freshly 21. I know. Get it out of your system, buddy.
Couple months. All right,
Get it out of your system. You'll learn to appreciate it instead of swallowing it. But whatever. Gypsy Vodka, guys, is gluten-free and corn distilled 6 times using artisan spring water.
Ooh-wee.
And it delivers the smoothest tasting vodka on the market. Support your local Michigan brand. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by the name of Gypsy. And as always, drink responsibly, my friends.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. December 27th, coming off a festive holiday weekend. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas whatever you're celebrating, happy holidays from all of our families here at Woodward Sports to yours. I hope you were safe over the weekend. I hope you made new memories. But speaking of teams that may potentially be making new memories, the teams currently in the hunt for the wild card, the San Francisco 49ers, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Arizona Cardinals. The Niners are 10-5, the Cardinals 9-6, or excuse me, 10-6.
Yep.
Wow, I'm losing my mind. I just totally read that in reverse. Excuse me, America. Arizona Cardinals 10-5, the Niners and Eagles at 8-7, and behind them are the 7-8 Falcons, the 7-8 Vikings, the 6-9 Washington football team who are clearly out, and a team that plays tonight who, with a win, could sneak in, the New Orleans Saints, who play the Dolphins. Jeff, what I see is a top-heavy NFC. It's top-heavy.
Yeah, it is.
12-3 Green Bay Packers, 11-4 Cowboys, 11-4 Rams, 11-4 Buccaneers. Are we getting a divisional round of Green Bay Bucks, Cowboys, Rams? I'm trying to look at the 3 wildcard teams.
Yeah.
And I'm looking and I'm thinking to myself, Arizona, San Francisco, Philly as it stands, or potentially New Orleans. Do I think one of those 4 teams can make an upset?
No.
Can they go on the road and win a football game? I don't think the Cardinals can.
No.
I think it's early for the Eagles. Nick Sirianni, by the way. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. Coaching Jalen Hurts up. I like what I've seen out of Jalen Hurts lately, especially the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. He's been developing at a very good rate. I'm all in on Jalen Hurts, not only for next season, but you got to give him an opportunity. You're paying him nothing for the next 3 years. Yeah. Let me see what you got in Jalen Hurts. Build around it. Having said that, I don't think the Saints travel. They don't have a quarterback. So out of all these teams, I look at the Niners, Jeff, and I say, you know what? Jimmy G, proven in the playoffs, a staff proven in the playoffs, a team that's been there before. Maybe they could pull it off, but as it stands,
that's it. That's all.
They would play the Los Angeles Rams. I don't see that happening. I don't see them getting by. I don't see them getting in. I don't see them making it to the divisional round. It's going to be a tough finish for me. It's going to be a tough finish. But Jeff, of the 3 wildcard teams that I gave you, if you want to say 4, including the Saints, because they're on the cusp, which team is most likely to make a run? I got the Niners.
No, I got the Niners. I would say the Eagles second because the Eagles, like you said, you already talked on Jalen Hurts. I want to talk about Nick Sirianni and the Eagles because I think they're, 10 straight games now with at least 100 yards rushing, which they're finding an identity. They have, defense. They have playmakers. Darius Slay has shown to be a playmaker all season. They have a decent pass rush. That's a team that I like. But if I had to pick one, it's the 49ers because not only you have Jimmy G, who has the experience, has won on the road before, and I would trust him, Kyle Shanahan, and that team. I mean, you have weapons, Debo, George Kittle, over an Eagles team because you have a lot of young guys. Devontae Smith will be playing in his first, if they go postseason. You have Jalen Hurts, first postseason. Nick Sirianni, first postseason. So if I had to put my money, man, I'm going with Kyle Shanahan. And now, Jimmy G could lose you the game, but I don't think Jimmy G is as big as a liability as I think Jalen Hurts will be going into the playoffs. It's just a different environment, and I'll take Jimmy G over Jalen Hurts.
All right, who's coming out of the NFC right now? As of today, gun to your head.
Coming out of the NFC would be the Packers.
Okay.
Now, before I did say the Bucks, but opinions change, and obviously with all the injuries, I want to stick with the Bucks, but I don't see a scenario, and I'm just replaying last year's NFC Championship in my head, how, listen, you had all your guys healthy, the Packers weren't able to win that game. Now, the Packers, I think, maybe they're a better team this year in terms of defensively, but I just don't see the Bucks beating the Packers with all the injuries they have. And maybe they do. Never count out Tom. I'm not going to sit out here and say Tom will make the Super Bowl, but I have the Packers. That's probably my favorite. And then I'm sticking with the Chiefs in the NFC side.
Yeah, look, I think it's interesting. I'm going to say Packers as well. What I find fascinating is we could very well see 4 different NFC title matchups, and if you told me that was the NFC title game, I wouldn't be shocked. Packers Bucks, Tom Brady, not surprised. He got there.
Yeah,
not surprised. Packers Rams, oh wow, okay.
That'd be
probably the 2 best teams I think in the NFC. Okay, makes sense. You got the Packers, let's say. I would even use the Packers. Let's say it was Cowboys and Bucks. Oh, wow. Bucks upset the Packers? Who knows? Depends where the seeding falls. But like, I really, if you told me there was a team that represented the NFC in the Super Bowl, and you told me, Adam, it was the Packers, I'll tell you, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Well deserved, finally.
Right.
Adam, it's the Cowboys. Wow. Didn't see that one coming.
Didn't see the Cowboys.
But damn, they got the roster. I'm actually not surprised given how talented they are. The Rams. Wow. Who knew? Sean McVay just needed a quarterback to get back to the Super Bowl. We're talking narratives now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Adam, the Bucks. Tom Brady. God damn it.
That's all you got to say.
Back to the Super Bowl. Come on, Brady. Give us a break. See what I mean? It wouldn't. The NFC is loaded at the top. I don't see teams in the wild card being able to make a push. I really don't.
No, I don't either.
I really don't. We're gonna switch gears real quick before we head to break. There was a team that surprised me over the weekend, Jeff. And when I say surprised me, I mean they surprised my wallet. Because on the Sunday pregame show, I did say I was going to take them on the money line, and I did. I put a few $100 on them, and I put a few $100 on the Chicago Bears. Plus 340 is what I got it for. And then I live bet them after the DK Metcalf touchdown. I got them at plus 610, I believe, or 620. And I'm sitting there making money on Sunday. I'm just like, man, this is like, why do I deserve to be winning this kind of money? And I thought to myself, wow, the Seahawks really suck. They're pathetic. Their head coach is pathetic. He has too much power. Paul Allen died, and that franchise has really gone into the gutter. The sister doesn't care about the football team. She has no interest. Pete Carroll has too much power, and I can't believe I'm actually going to say this. They are moving on from Russell Wilson because it looks like Pete Carroll is going to outlast him, and I can't believe that. If I'm DK Metcalf, I'm vomiting. If I'm Tyler Lockett, I'm absolutely sick to my stomach. We're losing the franchise quarterback because our genius of a president/head coach thought it was a great idea to trade for Jamal Adams for 2 first-round picks. No safety outside of Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu in my lifetime should have ever coveted that amount. No one.
A blitzing safety.
And here we are. Unbelievable. What do you... One, the Bears won a game that I think... It did surprise me, although I put money on them. But you see what they can do with good quarterback play. Nick Foles was pretty efficient.
Yeah.
He didn't kill them. Justin Fields, I could argue in that game, probably loses a fumble or two, throws a pick or two. Nick Foles was pretty poised.
Yeah. Even for a third-string quarterback.
To their credit. But yeah, to answer Joey 2 times in the chat, the Seahawks are really going to choose Pete Carroll over Russell Wilson. Laughing face, clown face. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Isn't that pathetic? You should never choose a coach over the quarterback. Ever. Unless the coach is Bill Belichick, maybe. But when we're talking elite, franchise, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, you don't trade them. You don't give up on them.
Yeah.
Funky, I gotta say. Okay, I'll give you that. Brian Dawkins, I did miss him. I apologize. Brian Dawkins was an absolute
He's
unit.
He's worth 2. Yeah, Brian Dawkins.
A unit back in the day. Sean Taylor, I could have argued if he had not tragically passed away at the age he did.
Yeah.
I could have argued he would have been a top 3, top 4 safety of all time. He was unbelievable to watch. Jumped off the screen every time you watch him play football. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to get too far into the safety conversation. The point is, guys, congratulations, Detroit. There is a team more incompetent than you. It is the Seattle Seahawks. We got to go to break. When we get back, Monday Night Football tonight, the New Orleans Saints, the Miami Dolphins, extremely excited for it. I cannot wait. I really can't. Fantasy football implications. We'll get to that about Jeff. I'm down 19 points in our Woodward Sports Fantasy League. But we're going to play a little bit of, not would you rather, but I got some questions for you, Jeff. I don't think I'm going to make you a little uncomfortable this morning.
Okay.
All right?
Let's do it.
All right. We got to go to break, guys. We'll see you after the break. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Detroit Sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports is live now.
Hi, I'm Cade Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
All right, back to the Morning Woodward Show. I'm sorry, guys, but, sometimes you say things in the chat, Sorry, I can't let you get away with it. My job is to be Mr. Honest, Mr. Tell You Like It Is, even when you don't like it. And AC, you messed up, buddy. You messed up. Russell is always injured and clearly past his prime. Russell Wilson, prior to this year, has never missed a start in his career. The hell are you talking about? Past his prime? He's coming off back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons, 31 touchdowns, and then 40 touchdowns. This year, 18 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Not turning the ball over. Not costing his team games. Yeah, they don't look great. Okay, I can give you that. But what? Past his prime? Injured all the time? No. Sorry. Not flying by this morning. Not flying by this morning at all. Russell Wilson is the clear choice to keep in Seattle, but unfortunately, they likely will go with Pete Carroll. Having said that, Jeff, New Orleans plays the Dolphins tonight.
They do.
Playoff implications, both teams fighting for wild card spots, both teams 7-7. 1, who do you got? And 2, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm going to go with the Dolphins because I think they have, they have the pieces to at least win this ball game. Tua, we like to compare Miami, kind of a junior New England in a way. You have Tua who, isn't going to, stats are going to jump off the page, but necessarily the turnovers, may throw an interception, but takes care of the football at least from a he's conservative. He's only going to his completion percentage over the last couple of weeks is damn near 80%. So he's playing efficient. And defensively, I think Miami's hitting strides. This week they're going to take Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara. Is it in New Orleans, I believe, as well, in the Superdome? I'm not sure. But either way, I got the Miami Dolphins winning. And that's just because my confidence in the complete team around Tua. And honestly, it could go either way. By the way, it could go either way. It's in New Orleans, but I'm gonna go with Miami. And maybe that's me being biased because I have Jalen Waddle, and in one of my fantasy leagues. But I have confidence. They'll have Jalen Waddle back, and I'm still not sold on Taysom Hill. I really am not. I don't know what I'm getting out of him. So tonight he could throw 3 interceptions. I don't know. So I got Miami winning. Score wise, I think the over under is pretty loaded on this game. I'll say 20-13. I'll say it's pretty close.
It's I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Tough to get points. Both teams got to play for field position.
Yeah.
I hate these kind of games. But who knows? Maybe it pops off tonight. I've got the New Orleans Saints. They're coming off a 9-0 win against the Bucs. They shut them out. If you can shut out Tom Brady and frustrate him, you should be able to frustrate a second-year quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki. Yes, the players are there. But I'm gonna stick with New Orleans tonight. Let's get into something else real quickly, Jeff. I want to pivot real quick. There are going to be a few quarterbacks available on the market. Mm-hmm. And from my understanding, Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo will be on the market. I want to add Deshaun Watson in there, but I don't know his legal situation.
Right.
But for the sake of argument, let's say the legal situation pans out and he's able to play football. But he's on the trade market. Okay? And you're one of these teams. Who are you going for of the three? And I'm going to start with the Washington football team. You're Washington. Which one do you go for?
Well, I think it depends on what the price is. I think Jimmy G, in my opinion, might benefit from maybe a Washington football team. I mean, they have weapons, they have a run game, they have a defense with Chase Young healthy that might be able to bail Jimmy G out. But if I'm Washington, if I'm the New York Giants, if I'm the Saints, and you're a quarterback away, essentially, I mean, it's no question you're going after Russell Wilson. Because imagine a Saints team this year with Russell Wilson, or imagine a Giants team this year with Russell Wilson. I think, they may be very well turned around the whole entire season. So Jimmy G, I don't see the New York or the Saints targeting Jimmy G, and neither the Washington football team. But I would see Jimmy G probably fitting more.
Well, think of it from the organizational standpoint. If you're Washington, you realistically can only afford Jimmy G.
So then Jimmy G, I think, would be a great fit in
I
Washington.
go for Jimmy G if I'm Washington. Now, if I'm the Giants, I give it all away.
Yeah.
I give it all away, and I go for Russell Wilson. I give it all away.
I would too.
I think the Giants can afford to go after a Russell or even Deshaun Watson. Miami, do you move off of Tua? He's been very accurate this year. He's shown progression. Do you move off the project and go for Deshaun Watson? Do you send them Tua along with the haul of picks? I think Miami can afford that Watson deal.
Yeah.
I think New York affords the Russell Wilson deal. Can New Orleans, this is the interesting one, can New Orleans afford the trade for Russell Wilson? Or dare I say, potentially even an Aaron Rodgers? But we're just going to use the 3 quarterbacks I gave you.
Because who would they give up to?
New Orleans, what can you give up of value that would allow you to trade for one of those 3 quarterbacks? I don't think they get any of them.
No.
And they've paid Taysom Hill. Sorry, you got to figure it out. They're in deep waters, in my opinion. So you're going to have to give up a haul of picks, eat a lot of salary. What teams are capable of doing it? Jacksonville, they got a franchise quarterback in the future, technically, that they believe in. That's their future guy. The Bears, they're invested in Justin Fields for now. Who else needs a quarterback? Carolina? What's Carolina going to give up?
Yeah.
Another 2 first-round picks? They're going to need more than that to get Russell Wilson or Watson.
Yeah,
so let's say they give up 2 first-round picks, J.C. Horn, who was their first-round pick last year. What are you going to have to give up to get one of these guys? It's going to cost so much.
It is.
And I think only the Giants and the Dolphins can go all in on it.
And I think more importantly, you got to look at teams that have expiring contracts. Like, for example, the Giants. They have Daniel Jones. They're probably not going to extend him. His contract's up. So now you can maybe afford to trade for a guy, making $30, $40 million in Russell Wilson. The Saints can't afford that on their salary cap. The Washington arguably can't afford that on your salary cap. There's other teams that can. And the Giants, they have the contracts to trade away. They have the assets. They have, they know they need a quarterback. Now, the offensive line has been bad for New York, so Russell's probably not going to like that. But if you look at Russell as a player, Sierra, New York fits him. I mean, New York fits him the best. So I like Russell in New York. I know the chat's talking about it. But Washington and the Saints, those are interesting teams.
Washington feels like the Jimmy G destination.
Definitely.
New Orleans feels like good luck. You probably got to go through a rebuild under Sean Payne. Sorry. They put themselves in this situation. It's too much money. New Orleans can't go after Russell. They can't. It's too much money. You already got, what, 25, 30 million a year committed to Taysom Hill? You idiots. Oh, well, he's a 7-tool player. I could run the football with him on 4th and 1. Come on, Sean, you're better than that. But maybe they did make a panic hire. Or signing, I should say. We got to go to break. When we get back, guys, you know what time it is. It's mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. Get them going from Sunday's game. Could be from around the NFL, could be around a player, could be around the draft, could be about the Detroit Pistons, who struggled and got absolutely hammered by the San Antonio Spurs, which, honestly, I wanted to talk about that game today, but I think I kind of did them a favor by not talking about it.
You did everybody a favor.
So I don't think we need to talk about the Pistons losing by 1,000. I don't think it does anybody any good.
Yeah. Luke Garza had 20. That's it.
We don't need to bring it up.
That's it. That's the only thing you talk about.
Ask your questions. Get them in the chat. We'll hit them up right after the break.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show, final segment of the day. One of my favorites, asking and answering questions from the chat. We'll start with ranking first-year head coaches. I'll give you my top 3. Top 5. I got
5. Do 5.
Nick Sirianni, number 1.
Okay.
Brandon Staley, number 2. Arthur Smith, number 3. Dan Campbell, number 4. I don't like number 5, so I'm giving you 4. Take that.
I have the same list as you, except 5. I wrote David Culley because
I'm not giving him. I'm not acknowledging him because he's not going to be in a job next year.
Okay, but I've been listen. What he's done this year with Davis Mills, I'll give him some credit. I mean, listen, that team is horrible, and they have 4 wins, and they just beat a very good Chargers team. Yeah, it's more so on Brandon Staley, but I got David Culley in there. But yeah, that's the 5: Nick Sirianni, Staley, Smith, Campbell, Culley. That's what you got. So what else we got in here? Does Boyle have a future?
Is Matthew Stafford out of the MVP race? Absolutely, but it's not after this week that he was out. He was out a few weeks ago.
The minute you have Cooper Kupp in that conversation.
Cooper Kupp emerged as the front runner on that team. And look, when you go 3 straight weeks throwing a pick 6, and let's be honest, it's not the year of the quarterback outside of Aaron Rodgers, which, yes, he's only second to Aaron Rodgers in most categories, but the point is, man, he's out of it. Those 3 interceptions really hurt. They really hurt, although I think he was out of it before. Does Boyle have a future? No, I think Jack Fox is a better quarterback than Tim Boyle, so we can leave that where it is. Whew. Did he say the Giants are getting rid of Daniel Jones? They should get rid of Daniel Jones. I didn't say they are, but they should. What the hell is that? That's not a quarterback. That's not a franchise quarterback. Guys, it doesn't take long to know you have the guy. How many times do I have to sit up here and tell you this?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, you knew before he tore his ACL he was special. You saw it. Justin Herbert, bang, immediately. Franchise quarterback. You see it, guys. Trevor Lawrence, it's been a disaster in Jacksonville.
I know.
So you kind of want to write him a pass, but a little concerned.
Yeah.
A little concerned. Mac Jones, you see it. Character. He's got the character to fit the billing of a franchise quarterback. So I think it's as simple as it gets. I don't see Daniel Jones as a franchise quarterback. Who's the best coaching fit for Jacksonville?
I like this. I'll go first. I like Byron Leftwich.
There you go. So we're on the same page.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that guy's deserving of a job. Not only what he's done with Tom Brady, but he was the offensive coordinator when Jameis Winston went for 30 for 30. But more importantly, besides the 30 interceptions, he had what was it, 5,500 yards. So give the guy credit, man. Byron Leftwich, I think he's the best candidate. Yeah, you have your Kellen Moores, but you got a guy in your own state.
You got a guy that understands your football team.
Yes. Understands
Go get Brian Leftwich. If it doesn't work out, then you just didn't deserve to win football games. It's that simple. Adam, how about Stafford's game yesterday? Well, we kind of talked about it already, but I'll give you a little tidbit. It was really bad. And they overcame it, which tells me more about that football team and actually gives me more confidence in them. When you're able to overcome adversity as a football team, and you're still able to buy into your quarterback who's let that team stick around all game, and then he goes down and leads you on a touchdown drive. Odell Beckham touchdown. For me, that's pretty good. Yes, Trevor Lawrence, I think we can agree, is probably in the worst situation of all the quarterbacks. Jacksonville looking like a disaster. How worrying from AC is Dan Campbell's situational decision-making?
I think it's gotten better.
I think it's gotten better. He needs to make winning football decisions. Sunday, he made a winning football decision. And I know it's not popular with you guys this morning, but I'm sorry. Kicking the field goal on 4th, he would have gone for it if it was 4th and 2 or 4th and 1, like he had been all year, guys. I like a guy that can look himself in the mirror and make adjustments and deviate from his structure, from his game plan, his core foundation, his core identity. If you're able to deviate to the success of your football team, I am all for it. And he set them up with an opportunity to win. Unfortunately, they didn't. They had Tim Boyle. You win that game with Jared Goff. Dan Campbell, 2 straight weeks, has made good, winning football decisions. In the beginning of the year, we can all acknowledge it was really bad. Midway into the year, you kind of wanted to kill yourself. I get it. But that's the situation you're in now with Campbell. I think you have to trust it.
We have to answer this one. Is Dallas a better team than LA?
Wow, that's a great question.
I think it's close because they've both shown they can have ugly, but they've both shown that defensively they have playmakers.
I'm gonna trust Sean McVay more than I'm gonna trust Mike McCarthy.
And
I think they're both excellent teams.
I agree with you there. And
I'm gonna give the nod to McVay. Staley's Chargers looked pretty bad. Yep, we covered that. That was really bad.
Oh, Pistons talk. Still feeling confident in your Super Bowl picks from the beginning of the year?
Absolutely.
Who did you have again? You had Bills and...
I had Rams Bills. No, did I have Rams Bills?
I thought so. You had the Super Bowl, not really.
I had the Bills in it. Who's coming out of the NFC for
I
me?
swear you had the Rams, too.
It was either the Bucs or the Rams.
Yeah, you were high on the Rams as well. Which,
I'm
both
all
are
in,
doable.
man.
I had Chiefs and Bucs. I mean, you don't really know now.
Yeah, I'm good with this either way. I'm not too worried about it.
Yep.
When Aaron Rodgers leaves the NFC North, it will be the worst division in football. Expect a losing team to win that division. No, I don't think so, Jake. Jake, the Vikings have a talented roster. They're a quarterback away from honestly being a 10-12 win team.
Yeah.
They really are. Kirk Cousins isn't it. He isn't. They got to reinnovate a little bit on offense. They got to get more creative. Defensively, we like the pieces they have. They just don't have a quarterback. And like I say, when you don't have a quarterback, I don't care how much we like you as a coach, you can't survive long in this league. After Sunday, who was the MVP front runner? I still think, I want to say Jonathan Taylor now. Leading his team to the playoffs after starting 2-5. Very Adrian Peterson-esque. It revolves around him. Aaron Rodgers, look, if he wins it, I'm not going to sit up here and say he didn't deserve it.
Right.
He deserves it. But
watching the Colts versus Arizona, there was times, I think Jonathan Taylor had one breakout for 43 yards, and I think the last 10 carries, it was 10 for 10 yards. So he was struggling a little bit, and Carson Wentz made that great throw in the end zone. I can't remember who it was. It was almost fading away from the defensive lineman, which was a beautiful throw. So Jonathan Taylor, though, in the conversation. To me, I'm sticking with Aaron.
I think the playoff picture is interesting this year because in the NFC, none of you really expect a wild card team to do anything.
No.
But in the AFC,
it's
Colts, Bengals.
Yep. Besides the Chiefs, you got a lot of teams.
This may be the best playoffs we'll witness, I think, in our lifetime. All the teams going in look really good. It's not it's this team. That's an easy win, and then they upset it. It's like, we didn't expect that. I see good matchups across the board. I'm so excited for it. I really, really am. Aaron freaking Rodgers, unfortunately, will win the MVP. Yes, unfortunately, but he does deserve it.
Yeah.
He really does.
What is his fourth
I want
MVP?
Jonathan Taylor. Look, if I was voting, I'd vote Taylor 1, Rodgers 2, Cup 3. But, right, it's a quarterback award. It really is. It really is.
Colts Bucs Super Bowl?
I would be surprised.
That would be
Maestro's World.
We'll revisit that. That'd be quite the prediction.
Well, having said that,
what about Bucs Patriots? A lot of people are talking about that one.
No,
that would be the most entertaining, I think, for a lot of people because you want to see Belichick versus Tom. But realistically, Fish, I mean, you see the Patriots beating the Bills.
Well, realistically, guys, it is 9:59.
Woo!
And your friend needs to go get some blood drawn. So, with that, I will leave you all this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you tuning in live on Twitter and YouTube, on Twitch. Feel free to go listen back to the show on YouTube, on our podcasts. Find it on Google, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. We go live on The Roar, 10 a.m. to 12:30 every morning for the Morning Woodward Show. 99.1 FM, 93.5 FM, and 94.7 HD2. Thank you so much. That was a pleasant Monday. Thank you guys so much. If you're on YouTube, make sure you leave a like before you leave. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Top 10 Tuesdays. Power Rankings. Love it. Can't wait for it. Monday Night Football. Enjoy your Monday, everybody.